Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Oblivion again. Yes, sadly, the previous Oblivion Let's Play tragically came to an end when my installation pretty much broke. Don't really know to this day exactly what went wrong with it, but basically, to cut a very long story short, the game repeatedly ended up crashing in certain points, which meant that I was unable to continue playing the game. So true to my word, I have moved on. I've got a brand new Oblivion installation and we're starting again. We're starting a brand new game with a brand new character. Because I feel it's a bit of a shame, really. I feel slightly cheated that I wasn't able to finish a decent playthrough of the game without it breaking on me. So this time we've started again. New mods, new setup. As for the mods themselves, they should all be listed in the description below, along with a load order list as well, including all the different utilities and programs I use to set the game up and that sort of thing. This mod setup, as you see it in the description, will not be changing at all. It's staying exactly the way it is throughout this entire Let's Play. So don't bother making mod suggestions and stuff in the comments, because it's not going to change. It's staying exactly as it is, because I do not want a repeat of last time, where the game just sort of crapped its pants and broke on me. So what you see in the description is what you get, and that's how it's going to stay. I'm quite happy with it. You know, so don't please ask me for technical support either with mods and installation and stuff like that. I'm not your local tech support guy. It's not my job to help you fix your game. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube and on the internet at large which can help you with this sort of thing. And frankly, if I manage to get this set up, then anyone can. Any idiot with a keyboard and a mouse and a computer can do this. It's not hard. So anyway, yeah, we're starting a brand new game. The mod setup is slightly different to last time. In fact, it's quite different to last time, as you can see, I think, plainly, just from this menu here. And yeah, that's about it, really. I will be using custom music, as I did previously. I will endeavour to name bits of music that people are curious about if I remember or know what they actually are. In many cases, this particular, Oblivion custom music folder I've had for donkey's years. I can't even remember half the stuff that's in it, and indeed half the stuff that's in it doesn't even have any names anyway. So all I can tell you is sort of maybe at most who composed it. I can't even tell you what the name of the individual track is. But anyway, yeah. Without further ado, I think without any further blabbing, let's start the new game and get on with it, shall we?
I was born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. Behold, in darkness, a doom sweeps the land. This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era and the final hours of my life.
What a peculiar dream. Had some peculiar dreams in our time, but never anything as weird as that. Certainly nothing with title credits on it, anyway. Anyway, so here we are. As you can see, we're not starting off in the Imperial Prison. I'm using an alternate start mod. The same one I used the first time around, as a matter of fact. As you can also see, I'm using the Oblivion character overhaul, which means NPCs and our own character will look very, very different. And on the whole, by and large, I feel an improvement over the sort of puffy potato faces of the original game. It isn't perfect. In some places it works better than others. But I'm sticking with it, so don't bother complaining, guys. If you don't like it, it's here to stay. So anyway, we are certainly not an Imperial, however. We're not going to be playing as an Imperial this time. We are not going to be playing as a High Elf again, either. That should almost go without saying. We're not even going to be playing as a Dark Elf, as much as I like Dark Elves. We're sure as hell not going to be playing as a Chimera. We're not going to be playing as a Breton. Definitely not an Ayleid. Not an Argonian. Not a Wood Elf. Not even a Redguard. We're going to be playing as an Orc. Oh, yes. I have wanted to play an Orc character for quite some time. I have indeed. In fact, I almost played as an Orc character in my Morrowind Let's Play. I only changed my mind at almost the last minute, so when my Oblivion install crapped out on me, it was in some ways a blessing in disguise. Because it meant that I had a chance at doing this. As you can see, obviously, Orcs in vanilla Oblivion were kind of hideous. They kind of looked like this horrid cross between Shrek and Gollum or something. You know, just they looked dreadful. They really did. Bright green skin and just no. But the Oblivion character overhaul, while it does some, I don't know, slightly iffy things with some of the other races in the game, depending on your perspective, I think it hands down makes the Orcs look 110% more awesome than they did in the original game, frankly. So I probably wouldn't even be playing as an Orc, to be honest with you, if I didn't have this mod. So yeah, here we are. Here's our Orc fellow. I'm gonna tweak his face a teeny weeny bit, but it doesn't really matter all that much because, you know, he's not terribly human looking to begin with, you know. So he's gonna have a big old square lantern jaw, though, or as close as you can get to it with that strange orcish anatomy he's got going on there. Lower his brow a bit, maybe. The inner down, put the outer down, so he looks a little bit less cross. Yeah, and custom music in the background at present is from Daggerfall, I think. To be more specific, it's from the Dagger XL modding project. It's a remastered version of, I think, the tavern music from Daggerfall. It might also have been in Arena as well, I can't quite remember. But anyway, yeah, I quite like it. I think it's a jolly jig. You'll notice I can move the camera around here. This is a side effect of the Oblivion character overhaul. Well, it looks alright, to be honest with you. Kind of looks fine. Maybe lower his nose down a bit. Make it a bit thinner. There you go. A little bit better proportioned. Perhaps. As Orcs go, I mean, you know. His face does look a little bit fat, which I'm not sure I'm such a big fan of. Let's make it a bit more gaunt. Maybe a bit thinner. Maybe the overall ratio here. That looks fine to me. Yeah, I think that'll be good. Age? Yeah, he's kind of middle-aged, I guess, as Orcs go, perhaps. I'm told Orcs, I think, have a slightly lower life expectancy than even your average human in the Elder Scrolls. I don't know whether or not that's true, whether I'm confusing my fantasy universes here or something, but I thought that was the case. So he's perhaps, I'd say he's in his maybe his 30s, but he probably looks more like he's in his 40s. As a result of that. Let's get you looking slightly less green coloured. Well, you know, maybe a different shade of green. Now, right now, I guess, is where normally I'd be doing all my talking about sort of what kind of character he is, and God, that does some strange things with the way he looks, isn't it, when you alter that? I've noticed that with it's the face gen technology this thing is based on. It does some weird things sometimes. Like you change the beard color and his hands change color for some reason. It's odd. But anyway. Yeah, normally is when I'd be babbling on about my character and his background and that sort of thing. But I'm kind of not doing that right now. Rather conspicuously, you might say. Not doing that right now. There's a reason for that. I was actually watching Oblivion. I mean, blah, 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 blah. Let me start again. I was actually watching Variax's Skyrim Let's Play recently, and he made an interesting point in that Let's Play. See, now his ears look a different colour to the rest of his head. Ugh. Face gen. Bloody face gen. It's just weird. Even when you've got an overhaul mod for it. That's better, I guess. I feel like we're almost back where we started now, Christ. Yeah, he made an interesting point. Well, a couple of interesting points that were very much joined together. In that, if you were reading a book or watching a film, you wouldn't expect to know a character's entire life story from page 1. In fact, if you did get that story, or a book or a film, that would actually probably be a pretty terrible book or film, to be honest with you, if it gave you a character's entire biography on the first few pages. And you know, I'm not gonna. And I think he's right. Actually, I think he's got a very good point. Yeah, no, not as if we get a lot of hair choices here, but I'm definitely not thinking this one. Oh dear, that's not so bad. It looks a bit too regal though, with the whole headgear thing, whatever the hell that is. Oops, I'll change the color. I'll do that in a minute, but see, that's more like it. That's definitely more like it. Headband. Looks a bit more rugged. Yeah. Now, hair color. The trick here now is to try and get it to match his eyebrows. As close as I possibly can. It's probably the one thing I have against Oblivion character overhaul is that it does some fantastic work, but it makes pretty much every character in the game that makes their eyebrows not match their hair color. Quite noticeably, in fact. Blimey. So the only way to make it match now would make his hair look slightly green, which just seems a little odd, even for an orc. You know, let's just go back to bright blonde. I think not. Let's just go back to black. I think that'll do. That'll just about do fine. Length. Somewhere like medium-ish, like there should do, just so it doesn't clip with too much of his gear. Because that does look a bit odd. Yeah, anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, he made a point, basically, how, you know, in a book or story or a film, whatever, you wouldn't expect to know everything about a character from day one. From the get-go, from page 1, chapter 1, whatever. And I think he's got a very good point. And I don't see why I should in a Let's Play, therefore explain literally everything at the very start. You know, and he made another point about how we very much live at the moment in an instant gratification kind of society. Do I really want that eye colour, or do I want one of the other ones? No, I think that's the best of the bunch. We live in a very instant gratification sort of a society, and I kind of see his point, and I actually saw his point even more when I kind of posted the first like little intro video for this Let's Play, and I got comments from people asking me like, what character is he? What kind of character is he? What's he going to do? Is he bad? Is he evil? Is he good? Is he going to do this quest line? Is he going to do that quest line? Is he a vampire? Is he... And all these questions, you know, and all these things which would be answered pretty much in almost just the first episode. And yet people were demanding to know it immediately, you know. And that's when I kind of realized, yeah, he's absolutely got a point there. People just want to know right now, don't they? They don't want to be patient and wait for the first sodding episode to come out. They immediately want to know for whatever reason, you know. And so yeah, while I normally would have spent this time waffling on about the character, I've instead spent it waffling on about why I'm not talking about the character. But you know, well, as we get going, I will fill you in on the basics, and you'll learn more about him as the game goes on. But yeah, suffice to say, this is our character for the Let's Play. He is an orc. He is from Orsinium. His name is, if I can type it in there, is Zoglak. Oh god, yeah, no, yeah, the camera's going to go bonkers at the minute because WAS and D move the camera as well as type text. So, it's Zoglak, Grow, if I can type properly, Gormlak, which I think in Orcish terms means something along the lines of Zoglak, son of Gormlak. So it sounds a bit Klingon-y, but then orcs in the Elder Scrolls kind of are Klingon-y, really, to be honest with you. However, to his friends and to the puny humans who can't appreciate and pronunciate Orcish names properly, he is simply known as Zog, short for Zoglak. So this is our guy. This is Zog, middle-aged orc in his 30s or so. He has come to Cyrodiil. Done. He's on a boat, in fact, to Cyrodiil right now, in fact. They're about to arrive, actually. Now, you have to bear with me. What immersion you may have had is about to be shattered by a whole bunch of pop-up messages. I am now being harassed by Deadly Reflex, I believe. Which is a combat mod. Which is a bit of a favourite of mine, actually. I've used it on and off for years, and that's apparently the screenshot button. I guess it's just a jolly good thing that that command doesn't actually matter, and I won't be using it. And I'll go with 35% for this, I think. It's a combat mod for melee characters, which this character very much is. Well, you know, he's a melee slash ranged character, but primarily a melee one. Mind you, Deadly Reflex works for bows and magic as well, technically speaking, but it's mainly aimed at melee characters, I think. I'll explain more about that as it becomes relevant, though. So, yeah, I'm just sort of waiting here for pop-ups and things to ambush me before I go any further, but it doesn't seem to be happening. Which I guess is okay. Right then, well, anyway. Here we are. We're on a boat. We're on a boat to Cyrodiil. Why are we on a boat to Cyrodiil? Well, we're on a boat to Cyrodiil, ladies and gentlemen, because, well, as I said, Zog is from Orsinium. Which is somewhere in the Rothgarian or Dragontail Mountains, I can't remember which is sort of smack dab between Skyrim and High Rock, I think, and sort of, and Hammerfell as well. It's sort of wedged in between all three of those. He has come from Orsinium. He's come from Orsinium because King Gortwog of Orsinium has sent him here, along with lots and lots of other orcs, actually, as a matter of fact, some of which we will more than likely encounter during the course of this Let's Play. You'll see them about in dungeons and things. Now, let's see, birth sign. Now, he was born under the sign of the warrior. Yes, he was. Which gives him a bonus of 10 points to the strength and endurance attributes. Honestly, if I had the option, I would choose none. I would choose that he wasn't born under a star sign, or at least that he doesn't know what star sign he was born under. But since that's not an option, we'll go with the warrior, because he is a warrior. Specializations. Okay, now class. Okay, so let's pick a picture that we like, because we're going to be doing custom class stuff. This looks about right. His specialization is very definitely combat. His favorite attributes are strength and agility. Now, his 7 major skills. Now, Zog is, I guess you'd call him maybe a scout or something. Zog was, he has no memory of his early life, his early childhood rather, but he was raised in an orcish clan. He was raised by the clan's forge wife, in fact, which is, I think, the chieftain's second wife. So he learned very early on armoring, smithing, that sort of thing, maintaining and repairing weapons and armor. That's a big deal for him. He knows how to do that. A lot of orcs know how to do that. In fact, I'd go as far as to say as almost all orcs know how to, do a bit of armory, or armoring, or however the bloody hell you pronounce that, or whatever. He also knows how to block. We're going to need to be able to block anyway, just because of the mods I've got installed. He also uses blunt weapons. Zog likes blunt weapons because they're big and they're spiky and they do lots of damage. And more to the point, though, blunt weapons have practical applications beyond combat. An axe can be used to chop wood. A hammer can be used to bash down doors, or build things. Hammer in nails and stuff with a hammer. So he likes blunt weapons. He doesn't use blade weapons at all, in fact. He has no need for them. If he's got a good sturdy axe or hammer at his side, there's nothing he can't take on. A sword or something he feels is sort of a bit of a pretty weapon that is reserved for sort of nobles and knights and people like that who don't actually have worldly concerns. Like someone who carries an axe around with them does. So, yeah, he uses blunt weapons pretty much exclusively. However, he also uses bows. He's fairly handy with a bow. It's not his primary weapon of choice, of course. That would be his blunt weapons. It is hilarious that in Oblivion they consider an axe a blunt weapon, when a blunt axe in real life would be pretty useless, but there it is. That's just how it's classified. But yeah, he's handy with a bow as well. And he likes light armor as well. He doesn't wear heavy armor, unusually enough for an orc, I suppose. But he wears light armor because it allows him to be more mobile. And in his previous employments, let's call it that, that was what he used, and that's what he wore because it was part of his job. So light armor is very much his thing. He would prefer to be mobile and agile and speedy in order to avoid being hit at all in the first place, especially when he's travelling long, tiring distances as well, then wear a big suit of tin and get conked on the head deliberately as a result of it. He thinks he'd rather not get hit at all in the first place. So light armor is definitely his thing. What else have we got? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills, which means we've got 2 more. Sneak. He is by no means a thief. However, he has had to use stealth in his work. Generally speaking, that's something he's had to use. Moving unseen, so sneaking past things quite very often if he wasn't able to deal with them head on. Like I said, he's a sort of a scoutish character. He's not really a thief. I suppose you might call him a ranger almost, or a scout or something. I don't know really what. When he's sneaking, it's not because he's sneaking around in the dark and the shadows trying to avoid guards. Typically, although that sometimes may very well be the case, it's normally he's actually stalking through the undergrowth out in the woods or something, hunting his prey. And the other thing he's fairly well versed in is alchemy, which he learned from his clan's wise woman and employed very much throughout his life, knowing how to mix various different herbs and ingredients and things to make potions, which in this Let's Play certainly, because Zog has absolutely zero magical talent. In fact, he's quite resistant to magic and, as a general rule, because he's an orc. So, both figuratively and literally, I think he does actually have a resist magic bonus for being an orc, so yeah, there you go. But yeah, alchemy in many ways is going to have to step in and fulfill magic's role in some ways, because there are a lot of enemies in this game with the mods I've got installed which are incredibly tough but are weak to certain types of magic, which we will be able to, you know, use in the form of magic weapons that we happen to find, as well as poisons that we can create. He's very good at making poisons and potions in equal measure. So yeah, that's all 7 skills, I think. Name for our class can be, yeah, adventurer's fine. Yep. So there we go. Zog is an adventurer. So the only thing that's left here now is social status. What is our social status? Well, we are very definitely a warrior. Now, what, if any, combat experience have you had? Now, Zog has had a lot of combat experience, actually. A hell of a lot of combat experience. He has been in the Imperial Legion. He served in the Imperial Legion for quite a while. However, he didn't exactly enjoy his time in the Imperial Legion, to put it mildly. He didn't enjoy his time in the Imperial Legion at all, and he's since moved on from that part of his life, that career. He served in mercenary companies, and more recently he joined up with King Gortwog in Orsinium, and he's helped. He's taken his experience from his previous roles in the Legion and as a mercenary and stuff like that, and he's been teaching people. He's been an instructor. He's been teaching Gortwog's soldiers and stuff how to fight, teaching his scouts how to scout, I guess, and that sort of thing. So I'm gonna go with veteran brackets other. Very simply because if you choose Imperial Legion veteran, it starts you off with a full suit of Imperial Legion armor, which if Gortwog still had any at this point, bearing in mind the Imperial Legion armor is heavy armor anyway. If he still had it at this point, he would have thrown it away. He wouldn't have taken it with him to Cyrodiil anyway. So, go with veteran other. Not special operations, because that starts you off with like a Dark Brotherhood robe type thing, and he's not an assassin. So, yeah, veteran other. What is your financial situation? He is poor. Red, he has no money left at all, because if he had any money to begin with, he spent it on the boat getting here in the first place. I can't imagine he had much money before that anyway, because I think in Orsinium, if it's anything like the orc camps you see in Skyrim, it probably operates more than anything on a barter system, really. I mean, King Gortwog and everybody up at the top has gold and things. But generally speaking, yeah, I don't think he'd have very much gold to begin with, and what gold he did have, he'd probably spend getting on the boat here, so he's quite poor. And his point of entry to Cyrodiil is going to be the Imperial City. He's got a boat, got on a boat, said I want to go to Cyrodiil, and this is the first place they've taken him. They've just gone round, taken him right straight to the capital itself. He does not have any diseases, so there we go. And now we're going to rest in this bed, and when we wake up, we will be in the Imperial City. So, there we go. In the night I had a strangely vivid dream. Yeah, we did indeed have a strange dream. Whether or not it proves to be of any relevance whatsoever, however, remains to be seen. Right, let's give the game a minute to get its shit together. Frame rate's not terribly good right here, but that's just because this is better cities, and that's just how it is. So anyway, yeah, here we are. We've arrived in Cyrodiil. Why are we in Cyrodiil? Well, because, like I said, he has come here, like many orcs have, and will continue to do so, and some of which we will meet. Because he's come on behalf of King Gortwog. He's come here to find great treasures to send back to Orsinium, to help Gortwog establish Orsinium's power and help the orcs grow stronger. Zog's very very proud to be an orc, actually. He's very proud to be an orc, and he's very proud to be serving Gortwog, and he's very proud of everything Gortwog's done. For those that don't know, King Gortwog sort of refounded after the place was like burned to the ground like 1,000 years ago or something like that. King Gortwog has come along and he has basically refounded Orsinium, the old kingdom of the orcs, and he sent orcish adventurers all over Tamriel to sort of gather riches and things to bring back to Orsinium. And that's ostensibly why Zog's here. That's what he's here to do. He's here to gather riches and things, and plunder and loot and glory on behalf of the kingdom of Orsinium, which he's very, as I said, proud to be a part of. There's another reason he's here as well, actually, though. He's here to meet someone. He's here to meet a very, very specific someone here in Cyrodiil, which he hasn't seen in a very long time. But less said about that for now, the better. Right, you will notice that his stats are not doing so good. That is because I have a primary needs mod installed. We need to eat and sleep and drink. You know, as anyone would. But unlike in my previous Oblivion Let's Play, I actually have a mod now which kind of enforces that. I mean, enforce is really a bad word. I'd say enhance more than anything else. It enhances the experience of it. But as you can see, yeah, we got off the boat, and I believe if I just minimize this and open the inventory again, it'll say, yeah, we're slightly hungry, somewhat thirsty, and somewhat tired. So it's been a long trip. We're a bit knackered. We're kind of hungry, and we're kind of thirsty. We've got everything out of our traveler's sack. Yeah, I do believe we've got some food. So we'll have a bread loaf or two. A couple of those. We're still thirsty and tired. Well, nothing I can really do about tired for now, but thirsty we might be able to do something about. We've got 3 empty canteens, which we can fill with water. Although I wouldn't recommend filling it with this water down here, because it would probably make us very sick. God knows what gets dumped into the dock water here, after all. So here we are, yeah. Well, we're pretty thirsty, so first things first, let's go and try and find something to drink. We don't have any gold either, that's going to be a problem.
Hello.
Going to be a serious problem, actually. What we need to find, really, is a well, or at the very least a barrel or something full of ale. Gortwog, sorry, Zog. Getting my orcs mixed up here. I shouldn't have picked two that sound so similar, should I, really? We've got some barrels, but they are just regular old barrels. They don't have anything in them. Fenrin's horse.
Oh my.
A very mucky horse.
Indeed. I understand the Fighters Guild is hiring new members. How are you? Not bad work.
Although I tell you what, yum yum thinks Zog.
Not bad.
Orcs have an interesting relationship with horses, as I'm sure many of you are aware. I wonder. These don't have any taps on them, do they? So I probably can't get anything out of those. I'm looking for a well. Preferably a well that isn't poisoned. Ooh. Hello. What happened to this fella? Drank himself to death by the looks of things. Undelivered love letter. I'll take his gold. The love letter we could care less about. And this broken item, whatever that is. Guess we could take the beer, but... let's take that poison. Oh, he drank poison. He killed himself, I see. Well then. Well, anyway. We'll be having that. We appear to be in the slums of some sort. Fresh pies. How fresh. They don't look very fresh. Oh, here we go. Well's been poisoned. Well, lovely.
Okay, you?
Not bad.
Heard any news from the other provinces?
Oh, nothing I'd like to talk about.
I was about to say.
So long.
Are my subtitles on? Yeah, they are.
It's you. Hi.
It's just not displaying all of the dialogue for some reason. Hello, stray dog. I think I saw some big old barrels around here somewhere. Did I? Was I imagining things? Aha! No, here we go. If we can... Oh, mopeds outside, lovely. Here we go. You fill your empty canteens with wine. All of them? Bloody hell, yeah, we got 3 canteens full of wine. Brilliant. Well, you could do worse. I just... You know, whatever. Zog likes to drink, mind you. He likes to get drunk. It's a small hobby of his. So he's got nothing against having 3 canteens full of wine. I just feel like it might not be the best thing ever in the world to get completely plastered 5 minutes within arriving in the Imperial City. We're hungry again, apparently. Wow. Come on, give me the message. Somewhat thirsty. Have some more wine then. It's being a bit of a bitch with the messages, isn't it? Slightly thirsty. It doesn't seem to want to come up when I want it to. Still slightly thirsty. Yeah, now we're getting a little bit tipsy because we're seeing about 6 people walking down this thing here towards us. Oh dear. Right, well, we've quenched our thirst either way.
Are asked to keep their voices down, especially if council is in session. What is it, citizen?
How on earth is that even remotely relevant out here on the waterfront?
Good to see you.
Excuse me, by the way.
Something to report?
I need directions. We've never been here before, obviously. Zog's never been to the Imperial City. In fact, he's not been to a lot of big cities in general, actually. He was in the Imperial Legion, yeah, absolutely, but he spent most of his time in, you know, the Dragontail and Rothgarian Mountains, because one of the reasons the Legion wanted him in their service was because he had a very good knowledge of the area, and so that's pretty much where he stayed, you know, as a scout in the Imperial Legion, guiding troops and things through the mountains and that sort of area, where the native Imperial troops wouldn't really know where they were going. So he was a scout, a guide, whatever you want to call it. So he's not really been to the Imperial City ever before, and big cities as a general rule are something that are a little unfamiliar to him. He's a bit of a barbarian, I suppose, is Zog.
What are you looking for?
About the general landmarks, I think we'll be asking.
The Imperial Palace is at the center. The 6 districts are arranged around the palace like spokes of a wheel. Starting in the northeast, moving clockwise, you have the Market, Arena, Arboretum, Temple, Talos Plaza, and Elven Gardens districts. The waterfront is south of Temple District. The Arcane University is south of the Arboretum. The Imperial Prison is north of Market District.
Right. There's a few other areas he didn't mention, which are added by better cities, but we'll just have to pretend he did mention them. Rivers?
If you've got to travel, by the 9 Divines, stay on the roads. The wilderness just isn't safe anymore. We've had sightings, you see. The Daedra.
Now, that's a very confusing statement on many levels to Zog. For one, what are Daedra doing in the wilderness? 2, how the wilderness was safe in Cyrodiil until recently? That's interesting. He's kind of used to the wilderness being a really dangerous place, but also he has no intention of sticking to roads. He doesn't like sticking to roads. He makes a living of not sticking, not sticking to the roads, you know. Coffins, eh? That's a bit morbid. Shipping out the dead. Now that must be an elf ship, surely. What else have we got around here? Some sort of big old galleon over here. A long ship from Skyrim, presumably. Big old houseboat thing.
What is it?
Really wish we could find a well somewhere that worked. We can get water from wells, you see. As long as they're not poisoned like the one we found earlier. That does kind of suck, to be fair, but what are you going to do, I guess. And we can also, if it starts raining, we can collect rainwater as well. And as soon as I said that, the sky started to get darker. Spooky. Anyway, ooh, hello.
A red guard of courage and honor was he. Sail on, my sire, sail.
Stop it, you're summoning the rain.
Hello.
Why do you have a strange haircut, and why are you singing at me?
Beautiful, isn't she? The Marie Elena. Damn fine ship, with a damn fine crew. I should know. I'm her first mate. Malvolus is my name. So believe me when I tell you we don't like it when people snoop around in our affairs. You get near that ship and my men will run you through.
Excuse me? Madam? I am not easily cowed by your pathetic threats, puny human, elf, whatever. Can we get some if you think you're hard enough? Take that, yes. Huh. Nice one, Imperial Guard. Off you go. Well, there we go, it's raining. I filled my empty canteen with water, jolly good. Don't ask me how he managed to fill it so quickly with such a short shower, but never mind. Suspend your disbelief, viewers. Anyway, yes, as you can probably tell, after that brief little encounter, look at that angry face. Yeah, Zog has a bit of a short temper. He doesn't like it when people talk down to him. In fact, he objects to it rather violently in some cases, and it's more than likely to get him in trouble. It almost just did. In fact, our health's looking pretty bad right now, so... However, on the bright side... cutlasses. It is a woman's weapon, my lord. As far as he's concerned, anyway. The leather greaves are tempting, although people might object if we start stripping trousers off of people in the street. But then again... Zog is Zog. Zog, as I said, a bit of a barbarian. I don't think he really cares what people think. Where did the other one go? I think he ran off. The guard went to chase him. Fine. Right then, well. What do we have here? I wish my frame rate was a bit better. It's actually quite bad right now. It's about 18 frames a second or something. Mary Elena, captain's cabin. Well, let's not go snooping around and alert the rest of the crew. I just wanted to check around to see if there's anything I can grab while I'm here. We should probably Scarper, though. Before that guard comes back and starts questioning me about who started it. Right, we better just get going altogether. Sun's out again, though, I suppose. That's nice, I guess.
Annoying creature.
What?
Hmm. There's more orcs around here than Zog thought there might have been.
A lot of it is going to the Renredra Kryn.
Seems to be some sort of lighthouse.
If the Empire isn't going to stop this school.
Yes, it's the waterfront lighthouse, indeed. Well then. Yeah, let's Scarper out of here completely. Let's get off the waterfront. Let's get into the city. We've got a few things now. We managed to grab a couple of swords off those pirates, which we have no intention of using because, as I said, Zog has very little use for swords, particularly curved, skinny ones.